Yeah, so these contracts are constantly these. When you're in a long contract, someone else is taking the other side of the trade. You're not actually buying the underlying asset, which is Bitcoin. So when you actually buy a long contract, you're just buying a bet that the price is going to go up, and then someone's taking the other side of it. And so, in the Bitcoin market, you might ask, well, everything's going hyper bullish. Why would anyone take the other side of it? And the answer is that you may be like based on a US dollar benchmark as a fund, and you might want to generate maybe a high yield on your US dollar capital. So what you do is you buy the Bitcoin, and then you'd sell the short contract in the futures market. And because there's such a high premium with that, you get a high return. You might get 20% per annum doing that. So all these traders are like, in these long positions, they were selling down those long positions. So that does have an impact on the market. Those contracts, when they're selling, they kind of work like a real sell, because when I sell down a contract, that sell arbitrages across to spot markets. So it does look like actual real downward sell pressure on the real, underlying spot markets.
Okay, so but basically, based on this data that went out on this, did you say a Telegram group, the 28,000? Essentially, you can kind of point at that. I mean, I guess you can't say it definitely is, but it's highly likely.
It's highly likely because it happened within 30 to 60 seconds. There was an immediate dip down, and then there was a second wave of sell down, and that was the real one.
But some traders must have lost a lot of money.
Yeah, a lot of traders got wrecked, $500 million of liquidations, and I don't know if some of them might have sold out at a profit because it had been, the price had been ripping upwards for days and days. But yeah, there were definitely a lot of losers in that sell down, $500 million worth.
What can and should be done about this though? Like, should they come with a warning label? Is their reputation at a point where people shouldn't trust them? Because strictly speaking, if they have that much kind of influence, Nate, they themselves can short the market before they release certain bits of information.
I totally imagine is subject to, I don't know if regulators have an eye on that stuff. Certainly if you're in a position of information asymmetry, like CEO of a company, you can't just broadcast stuff out. I don't know, because this is an emerging industry. I'd hate for it to be regulated. It's global. I think it's just what's transpired, which is the community coming together and calling out errors, making people accountable. Like, we didn't see anyone calling the first issue out, where the 58,000 top a month ago, and we also had the same issue. I mean, I didn't call it out. I just wrote about it in my letter. But on a second time, I did announce it. I didn't really name names too much, but the Cryptoquant went into defense mode and tried to make it look like they were right and made a game out of it. And I thought it was prudent to actually just break it down and say exactly what happened. I mean, they're a new venture. I think they're doing relatively good work, and it adds to the ecosystem. I just think that we've got to keep each other honest. I expect to be called out if I do bad work. I expect Glassnode to be called out. Everyone's got to be careful that they're checking what they're doing and being responsible. So, it's along the lines of Masari. They're doing a lot of data on the industry, and it's sort of self-policing. Let the industry police itself.
All right, that's fair. Okay, so anyway, since we did last week, we did get up to 62. I thought we were going to go higher. I don't know why. I probably think that every time it runs up. We're now seeing a little bit of pain right now. You're pretty good at knowing what the bottom is before we rip again. Where are you seeing the potential bottom in this? Like, do you think we'll go below 50? Should we?
I think we're at the bottom now.
Right.
I mean, I was just checking earlier today, and I was looking at the on-chain flows, like, and it tends to do a particular signature where it just zeroes out, and then flows coming into the network start to accelerate away while the price is still dropping. And we got that for the second day in a row today. Meanwhile, we had today the largest outflow, like Bitcoin being scooped up off the exchanges and moved into cold storage, like the highest we've seen this year.
Wow.
So I'm pretty confident we're within, I think this is the bottom, if it's not within 48 hours of the bottom. And so, yeah, I'm stacking up my long positions right now, personally. But yeah, I think we're pretty close. And, through this entire downward move, you can see from the price action and the way in which it's trading on Coinbase, there's consistent buying, and consistent outflows going into cold storage. So, that's a signature to me as a, maybe an unannounced institution that's buying. Maybe it's a private hedge fund, or many of them, but there's certainly a lot of buying going on from Coinbase, which tends to be US institutions. And by the way, those coins moving out, they're moving to participants that have no history of selling. So either they are new, they're brand new wallets, and they're just in accumulation mode, or they're existing holders that are continually adding to their stack of coins that they're not selling.
So how does that work then, Willy? Because if you're seeing consistent inflows, consistent buying, yet the price is dropping, what is actually going on here? Is it like what is at play here that's pushing the price down? If we've got all these new people coming in and buying.
Well, the way I look at it is that there's a price floor on Bitcoin based on the amount of capital